Welcome, my friends, to another episode of the Horror Syndicate's The Werewolf Wednesday show. My name is Seth, and I am addicted to werewolf movies. The purpose of this show is to talk about every single werewolf film in existence. It's they're a subgenre of horror that doesn't get enough love nor proper attention. There's a lot of really bad werewolf films which I'll be covering, and there's some ones that are okay at best. Some are really mediocre, and once in a while you'll find a really solid one. So originally, my plan was last week I was supposed to cover I Was a Teenage Werewolf from I think 1957, I want to say 56 or 57. And then this week I was supposed to cover Werewolf the series from the 80s. However, last week, let's just say I wasn't available to do any shows with the Horror Syndicate, so I really messed up the schedule. So, and I didn't get a chance to revisit Werewolf the series to prep for this show. So what I did was I just swapped it out. Tonight I'm going to be covering the 5 werewolf movies of 2025 that I have seen. I did attempt a 6th one, but I didn't get very far. I just wasn't in the mood for what it was trying to offer. That film is The Yorkie Werewolf. I guess I will get to it at some point, but I just wasn't in the mood when I started it. So so far, there's only 5 that I have seen from this year, and I have to be honest, I don't really like any of them at all. So far, there has not been a werewolf movie from this year that has really impressed me at all. Not even to the point of like I'm like, I kind of like it. I don't know. It's one of them is just a huge disappointment, and a couple of the other ones that's just bad filmmaking and bad writing and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be ranking all 5 that I've seen so far. I did attempt a 6th film, but haven't got to it. Ages of Film, yo, what's up? Hey, how's it going, man? Glad that you're here. Smack that like button up pretty good, ready to rock. Excellent. Glad to hear it, my friend. I loved Wolfman, but that's the only one I've seen from this year. Yeah, so I'm a little, I guess I'm a little indifferent to Wolfman. But I'll talk about that when I get to that on this list. But yeah, so these films I'm going to talk about, I don't necessarily recommend to people. But with you like in werewolf films, I think you should at least check them out, and then do reviews on your channel. But yeah, I guess speaking of that, I'm going to be tacky here for a moment, and say if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button because you're cool like that, and I'm not. And if you're like on Facebook, share, thumbs up, angry emoji, laugh emoji, heart emoji, wow emoji, whatever you want to do. And leave a comment. Let me know if you've seen any of these from this year. I'm the type of person that I actively seek out werewolf films, so I'm always on the lookout. So I always kind of come across titles that are very rarely seen by other people. Yeah. Was Werewolves in 2025, or was that the tail end of last year? Yeah, that was the tail end of last year. That came out in December of 2024. I went and I made like a special mall trip for it. I love that movie, by the way. Werewolves from 2024. I have to rewatch it. I just thought it was good fun. Like it wasn't like it wasn't really anything special, but I had a blast watching it in the theaters. I really like that one as well. Yeah, Werewolves is awesome. That's a really fun movie, in my opinion. Uh, not the best written for sure, but yeah. I am doing a Superman series on my channel right now. I've done 1, 2, 3, and got Superman 4 coming up next Monday. But maybe after the Superman series, I'll do some werewolf reviews. Oh, awesome! Glad to hear that. Like I haven't really like been on YouTube much over the last week or so. So I didn't even see anything with the channel, but I'll definitely have to check those out. Um, and you got Superman 4 coming up next Monday. Cool. But yeah, definitely do some werewolf reviews, man. I support that. Sean says, "Hey Seth, hope you're doing well. I'm back in the hospital. Hey man, I am doing pretty well. Um, sorry to hear that you're back in the hospital, man. Uh, get better. God damn it. I think, yeah, yeah, just get better, man. Sucks. Um, yeah. So gonna get into the topic at hand, the 2025 werewolf movies that I've seen so far. I'm just gonna rank them, even though I am not really a huge fan of any of these. Like this ranking order is just kind of like whatever. Like I didn't really put much thought into it. Because a lot of these are just like I have like the same feeling about them, like meh. There's some that maybe had like potential here and there, and there's others. The filmmaking isn't great, but I'll get into them a little bit here. Um, so let me find the thing here. All right, so I'm gonna start off with this film, First Moon. Um, so I thought the movie definitely had potential. Um, I liked kind of like the very beginning of it. Um, so basically, the idea is there's this like young woman who wakes up in this strange location, and she's in a cage, and outside are like three priests or whatever, and they claim to know that she's a werewolf, and that and basically what they do is like they hold her captive and try to torture her because they say that they're gonna cure her and get rid of the wolf um, from the inside, and it doesn't really work in their favor. But uh, I thought a lot of the acting was not so great, to put it kindly. And the werewolf design just really ticks me off. You can see from the poster here. I do not like this look at all. I think this is just an awful, terrible look. Um, it kind of reminds me of the film. What the hell is that called? Night Wolf, or AKA 13 Hours, or something like that, depending on where you're from. Like it's like the same deal where it's like this like hairless, white, weird looking thing. It doesn't really look good as a werewolf. So I think some of the action with it was okay, if I remember correctly. But yeah, coming in at number 5 is First Moon. Uh, I thought the potential was there, and there was like a moment or two that I liked, but I think overall it was just there's this one, and I think like another one or two on this list where it feels like it's like mainly people talking about someone being a werewolf, and nothing really happens until the end, you know. But check it out if you're a werewolf fanatic. You know, who knows? Maybe you'll like it more than me. Um, Next up on this list is Shadow of the Wolf. This is a Italian uh, horror film. Um, so from the brief little bits I've gathered about it is that this film was previously released in like 2018 or 2020 or something like that, and it was just recently released this year, back in March for the United States. So it's the United States premiere year for it. So that's why it's on this list. I think it's mostly just a very boring movie. Um, it's another, just like um, with First Moon, it's more of like someone talking about becoming a werewolf more so than anything really happening. It's more filled with drama than horror, I think. Uh, but basically, the idea is there's this cop or ex-cop who returns home when his mom is sick in the hospital. She eventually dies, and um, while he's there, there are like animal attacks, killing people, and it's revealed that his father was a werewolf, which is why his father abandoned him uh, back when he was a kid, and he himself is going to become a werewolf as well. And meanwhile, there's some sort of like conspiracy going on with this company and the land. Uh, like I think there was interesting like story points. I think it had the makings of being a really good movie, but I think it's just mainly boring. The werewolf you don't really see. You don't get a really good look at the werewolf at all. You mostly see, like a arm strike or something like that, or just something like right at the edge of the camera, and you don't get a good look at it, and that kind of ticked me off. So, uh, yeah, number 4, Shadow of the Wolf. Uh, Again, if you're into werewolf films, check it out. It, Again, you may actually like it more than I do. Right, the whole thing with the internet is everyone's got different opinions. Just given mine, these have been pretty weak so far. Pretty weak. The next film is technically not even a werewolf film. It's called Werewolf Game. So I have a few films like this on my big werewolf ranking list that I'm putting together. I have like 137, I think, werewolf films that I've seen, and some of them come with an asterisk. Stuff like Werewolf Game is basically similar in category. Not saying that I'm comparing Werewolf Game to these films, but it's like She Wolf of London, or Wolf of Snow Hollow, or Brotherhood of the Wolf, where it's like it's not uh, technically a werewolf, but it involves werewolf lore, and it involves like the belief in werewolves thematically. So that's why I add it with an asterisk to my list. So what is Werewolf Game? Well, it is based on a game. So basically, this pretty large group at first of people, all strangers. They all wake up in a room. They are chained to like these desks, and they are gagged. And Masked Man, played by Tony Todd, uh, comes and talks to them about how they have been uh, selected for the werewolf game. And basically, there are, everyone's assigned uh, a role like villager or whatever, and two people are secretly the werewolves, uh, quote unquote. And that's because, like, it's never actually a werewolf in this film. It's literally people. Two of the people, they have to wear this kind of cool looking werewolf mask. I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of like that mask. Um, it's not the it's not on the poster there. It's but I wish I got an image of it before I went live, because I think the mask is pretty cool. And yeah, so basically, everyone's told that uh, one person will die every night, and you have to like also like select someone as a sacrifice, someone who you think is the werewolf, to be killed, in order for them to survive. uh, I don't know, it was kind of a weird movie. Like, the filmmaking was a little off to me. um, some of the acting was, again, not great, to put it kindly. And it was a little confusing too. It was especially confusing at the end, when Tony Todd's character has this moment. Um, it was kind of strange, and I just couldn't quite figure it out. So, Werewolf Game, technically not a werewolf film, but it involves, the lore of werewolves and all that. So, it was an okay movie. That one is available to watch on Tubi if you don't want to rent it. Um, Night of the Werewolves might be, as well as the next one I'm going to talk about. First Moon, I think I had to rent. I don't think that it may be on Tubi. Check Tubi. Tubi has a shitload of cool werewolf films. So anyway, since I already kind of name dropped, so the next film that I've seen is Night of the Werewolves. Uh, I believe this is on Tubi. I could be wrong though. I rented it. It's an anthology film, a bunch of different stories. I think the first story is narrated by Heather Langenkamp, I believe. Um, and what I'll say about this is that there was one story I thought was okay, and then another story that I thought was actually really good. But there was also one story in there that was just insufferable, and I couldn't wait for it to be done. And then there was another one that was just like, okay, I mean, cool idea here and there, but whatever. Um, so again, it's an anthology of stories. Now, the one that I really liked is the last story in it, which involves like this young couple. So there's this dude and this chick, and they're hooking up, and they're going to her place. And uh, when they're outside her apartment, she sees that he has like a silver cross, and she's like, "Oh, you can't wear that because of my roommate." And she's like, "I hope you don't mind, but my roommate's a werewolf." And he doesn't really believe her at first, but they go in to you know, do the deed, so to speak, and they forget to lock her roommate's door from the outside, and it becomes a werewolf, and they're just trying to like keep him away, and they're trying to also they attempt to lure him back to his room and lock him in there. Um, I don't know, the humor, I thought worked pretty well for that one. So yeah, that was my favorite story in Night of the Werewolves. Uh, the other story that I kind of liked, there was like this one story about this like there's this younger man who meets like this elderly woman at like a bar or restaurant, and he's basically trying to con her out of money by saying that he represents her dead son. But as she's talking to him, she starts to talk about how she's actually a vampire and that her son died a long time ago, and that she basically knew that this was a con job. In order to move on, she has to she does something where she curses this guy, and he changes into a werewolf in this restaurant. Um, I thought it was kind of cool. Uh, Again, there was like one story that was um, it was like okay at best, and that was the first story. I think that's the no the the very opening is like this. I think it looks like this to me. I could be wrong, but it looked like this like CGI like animation. I could be wrong. It could have been a real person, and maybe I just need my eyes checked. Um, that one was okay. Like it was a decent scene. The next story is the one that's narrated. Um, I don't know. I kind of like the twist at the very end of that story, but at the same time, it was just kind of forgettable. And then there was another story that was just so freaking insufferable that I just couldn't stand it. It was a really sort of like trashy exploitation type style. Um, that works when people are actually funny, but they were not funny. So one really good story at the end, a couple of like mediocre in the beginning, and then an insufferable one in the middle. So Night of the Werewolves. Um, yeah, I mean, if again, as I said before, if you like werewolf films, I mean, check it out. And who knows, you might like it better than I. And then coming in at number one, of course, is Wolfman. Um, I'm more indifferent to this film uh, than either liking it or hating it. Um, yeah, I've talked about this one before, so I'm not gonna go too much deeper into it. But it was just it. I felt like it could have been called like Face of the Wolf, and I probably would have appreciated it as its own individual thing. But because it has the association of the Universal Wolfman, uh, it was just kind of a huge disappointment for me. But it's a film that I do intend on rewatching at some point, kind of fresh, open mind. Who knows? Maybe I'll like it. I know some. I think it's a pretty divisive movie. Um, yeah, so there is my ranking of the five werewolf films I've seen this year. Just going over them one more time. Number five was First Moon. Uh, it was kind of a mess. I was intrigued, but it was there was just something about it that just wasn't very good. And I definitely hate that design that they went with. Uh, Number four is Shadow of the Wolf, a film that, for the most part, bored me and didn't even really show the werewolf. Um, Number three is technically not even a werewolf film, Werewolf Game. Um, it was, it was okay, I guess. Uh, didn't care for the filmmaking style of it. Some of the acting was really bad, and it was a little confusing at the end for me. So yeah. Uh, and then number two was Night of the Werewolves, anthology film, and number one is Wolfman. So there is my ranking of the five. Uh, Not a huge fan of any of them. So yeah, I'll get back to comments because it looks like I missed some. All right, where did I leave off? I chose the Donner cut of Superman 2 over the theatrical for my review. Might be a hot take, but I prefer the Donner cut over the theatrical. I do too. I think the theatrical has like one really good moment that I wish was in the Donner cut, but I prefer the tone of the Donner cut more so than the theatrical. Um, yeah. I've heard of a couple of those, but I haven't seen them. Only Wolfman from that list. Yeah, well, check them out, and then do reviews on them for your channel. Uh, Hi everybody, your local werewolf fan is here. How's it going, Scott? Hope all is well. I don't know what to make of that cover. It doesn't look very werewolfish. Yeah, you're talking about the first moon. It kind of reminded me more of like a look of like vampires over the last couple of years, like Last Voyage of the Demeter. It has like that type of look to the face. Like it just doesn't scream werewolf. Sup, Scott? Sean says, I'll probably need to take care for the rest of my life. If you hear of a wolf with a cane, it's probably me. To get on topic, I think this year's crap is pretty weak. Is the genre played out, you think? No, I don't think the genre's played out. It's just, for some reason, I don't want to sound mean, but it seems to me that, like, people who are not so good filmmakers kind of gravitate towards werewolves. Um, and what we get is just not very good. I think there's potential, right? I mean, even last year, there wasn't really a lot that I liked. I liked Blackout. I was a huge fan of Blackout. I raved about that enough on this channel. And Operation Blood Hunt, I thought was a lot of fun. And then, of course, Werewolves. So, there is some good stuff here and there, and I'm just really hoping to find the next gem. I don't know if I don't think it's played out. I mean, I would hate if it was played out, because I just want, uh, I want some good, talented people to make a good, solid werewolf film. Um, just waiting on it. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. My hopes are up. Being optimistic. That werewolf looks nothing like a werewolf to me. Looks like a cross between the Green Goblin and a vampire. Yeah, exactly. Age is a film. How you doing, my friend? Hey, good to know you guys are talking. How are you doing, Seth? That's a good T-shirt you're going on there, my friend. Over here in Australia, I look a lot. My shopping centers, I can't find any American Wolf on T-shirt anywhere. Yeah, yeah, I love this shirt. A couple years ago, my girlfriend went to Salem, Mass, and um, uh, there was like some store down there, and they had like a bunch of horror stuff, and she found this, and I was like, sweet. Um, so yeah, I love it. I hope you find one, man. I'm doing very well. Glad to hear it. Werewolf game kind of sounds like The Beast Must Die. The concept sounds kind of similar. Kind of, to a certain degree, yeah, yeah, to a certain degree. It's not quite like The Beast Must Die, but I don't know how to explain it. Well, I mean, besides the fact that there is no actual werewolf in Werewolf game, um, and technically someone does turn into a wolf in The Beast Must Die. Um, the Beast Must Die kind of like reminds me a lot of Howlin' 5. Or, I mean, I should say Howlin' 5 reminds me a lot of Beast Must Die, because The Beast Must Die came first. But I don't know. I kind of like that type of story. And like, I really, like, I wish for, like, no, it would be awesome. Actually, no, I'm not going to tell you because I'm going to use it for a story idea. Never mind. But anyway, yeah. Uh, I do hope that they. It's weird to say I hope that they do a remake of something, but I hope they remake Beast Must Die, and then have like an actual werewolf in it instead of just someone turned into a wolf. I think that'd be cool. My favorite werewolf from the past, Ginger Snap. Yep. Um, it was, yeah, very cool. Yo, it went live on its own on Facebook. Yay, that's good. Yeah, it was a little disappointing. What was it 2 weeks ago when I did Alpha Wolf? Not a good, not a very good werewolf film. Uh, but yeah, there was like no one watching whatsoever. Sean Denson dropped in and said hi and then bounced, and yeah, but there was like an issue, I guess, with it like showing up on Facebook for a bit, so it was a weird thing. Sure did, Ray. The notification popped up as, oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it because it was starting to drive us nuts. It's the fact that like it wasn't showing up, because we like interacting with you guys. Um, is there a chance you could do a video in a live stream and talk about similarities between? Uh, yeah, yeah, I could do that. I do got to come up with. I got to rework my schedule that I came up with for the Werewolf Wednesday show because I've messed it up multiple times this year. Um, uh, I am getting my shit together though. But I do gotta like fix the schedule, and then I'm gonna start planning for next year. Uh, lots of things to talk about with werewolves. So, look, as a werewolf fan myself, I do not like some of the design of the werewolves and make them more human or make them more Bigfoot. Uh, yeah, I don't like the like very basic like human look at all. Like uh, one of my favorite TV shows of all time is Supernatural, but I hated the werewolves in there because it was just like, yeah, their eyes turn a different color. They get long nails and teeth, but like they basically look human. Don't care for that. I don't care for like the ones that are humanoid and furless, like in um, First Moon or uh, Jesus Christ, I forgot the name of that other movie already. Night Wolf, aka 13 Hours, depending on where you live. I don't like that look at all. So I agree. More wolf anthology movies. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool idea for sure. Uh, yeah, strange about America. I love American stuff, but America has a lot more stuff with clothes and stuff in Australia. It's just not fair how you guys get all the good stuff. I know, man. I know. Sorry to hear it. Seth, are you afraid World War III is going to break out? Uh, I'm not. Um, but then again, I haven't really been paying attention to current events. I have been living blissfully ignorant of the world. Uh, I deleted social media and just I'm happy. So um, yeah, I hope not though. Um, are there any similarities between Jack and Nicholson's Wolf? Yeah, there are similarities. Jack Nicholson's Wolf doesn't get nearly as transformed as Lon Chaney's, but it's the same concept. I think the Jack Nicholson Wolf is just barely on the edge of the type that I hate. Like that type from like Supernatural. But yeah. I was upset with the actual Werewolf in Beast Must Die, being that it was just an actual wolf. For me, I want my werewolf as the man wolf hybrid, not just Canis lupus. I 100% agree because I was like digging that film. I dig the story, um, but like when it came to that, I was like, oh, really? I was really hoping to see in like an actual like werewolf, you know. I mean, even if they did like the wolf man look, you know, like I'd be fine with that. But I don't like when movies do the, you know, people turn into like just wolves. You're like, you know, I don't know. It's kind of boring. I would like to see us in a Spider-Man movie where Norman Osborn fully transforms into an actual goblin. Yeah, he saw the Green Goblin, but he actually transforms. Yeah, well, kind of like what was the comic there? Ultimate Spider-Man. I believe they did that in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, where Norman actually transforms. I still like the Beast Must Die overall. The characters were entertaining. The story was fun. I like the setting and the big mansion, but it wasn't fun. I'm 100% with you. 100% with you. Because it was, I don't know, I was entertained by that movie. It was just like that reveal was just very disappointing. What is streaming now? There's a possibility we can do a quick similarity talk. I'd have to set something up. Uh, like I said, I'm going to be working on my. Uh, I'll be working on my Werewolf Wednesday schedule. Um, so, and I've been mainly sticking to just like reviewing and talking about the individual movies, but I can do. I would also like to do topics like that. You know, like similarities between this and this. You know, um, yeah. So that'd be kind of fun. Don't forget about my idea. I know I gotta add that to the schedule. That was the TV one, right? The like werewolf showing up in like other stuff, like Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that. Okay, Seth, you're such a werewolf. Okay, I mean, to be fair, Scott, I'm not actually a werewolf. Um, I just pretend to be one. Um, the similarities between Ginger Snaps and American Wolf in London, 2010, Wolfman and American Wolf in London. Uh, well, Ginger Snaps and American Wolf in London both had the quadrupedal werewolf. You know, it's on all fours, kind of big and yeah, kind of like a big hound, so to speak. I don't know if there's many similarities like that in the 2010 Wolfman, although the 2010 Wolfman does have like little nods here and there to stuff like Curse of the Werewolf, American Wolf in London, stuff like that. You know, there is like a couple moments where Lawrence is running on all fours, but it mainly just sticks to the Wolfman type, so not so much a similarity there, so to speak, like Ginger Snaps and American Werewolf from London. Of course, two totally different looking designs. Um, yeah, but uh, is that your answer? If I'm such a big werewolf, I think you meant if I'm such a big werewolf fan, right? I'm just kind of messing around here. Are there any similarities with Bad Moon and American Wolf? Uh, not really. You know, just like trying to think of like the faces of the wolves themselves. I don't think they really look similar. If a dog got scratched or bitten by a werewolf, would the dog become a were dog, or could the dog just be a normal average dog? Um, well, if you've seen the Wes Craven film Cursed, you'll know that a dog can become a werewolf. Here's an idea. Pacifist becomes a werewolf, refuses to kill, but he just gets fleas. Just kidding. That's actually funny. Pacifist werewolf. That'd be kind of like fun to see. The biggest differences uh, between wait, talk. Jesus, did he say differences or some? No, okay. Scott was talking about similarities. Okay, and you're talking about differences. Okay, the biggest differences between American Werewolf in London and Bad Moon is American Werewolf in London is actually good. Ooh, oh, damn! You don't like Bad Moon? I love Bad Moon. I think the werewolf looks great in Bad Moon. I just like that digital transformation, not so much, but yeah. When Norman Osborn transformed into the goblin creature, what do you think is more painful to transform into goblin or werewolf? Probably werewolf. Um, like I said earlier, I'm scared World War III is gonna break out this year. Uh, yeah, I mean, I understand you're scared of it. I think there's quite a few people that are, but uh, I don't know. I'm not talking politics here, so keeping this all about the werewolves, all about the lycanthropes, because I am a big werewolf fan, or a big werewolf. Yeah, so, all right, that about covers it. So I'll just kind of go through one last time the 5 films that I have seen so far this year. I did start the Yorkie Werewolf the other night, but didn't get very far before I'm like, I'll try again later because I just wasn't in the mood for that type of film. So, number 5, First Moon. Hate the look of the creature here. Uh, thought some of the acting was really bad. There was potential with it, but it was just kind of a meh film. Shadow of the Wolf. It's a 2025 release here in the United States. I'm aware that it came out in like 2018 and 2020 elsewhere, but I found it to be incredibly boring, and they don't really show a good look at the werewolf. Um, Werewolf Game, technically not a werewolf film. It's a film that I include with an asterisk. I liked uh, the mask that the people who were the werewolves amongst the villagers, what they had to wear. Um, but the filmmaking was a little off-putting to me, and some of the acting was bad. Um, it was, I don't know, it was okay. Like I didn't mind the time, that I watched it, but it just wasn't good. Um, Number 2 is Night of the Werewolves, an anthology film. One really entertaining story, at least for me. At the end of it, a couple of kind of like okay at best stories in the beginning, and a really insufferable story in the middle. So, uh, yeah. And then, of course, Wolfman. Just not for me. I do need to give it a second watch, but as a huge fan of Universal's Wolfman, I thought it was disappointing. So I am going to read the remainder of the comments, and then I'm gonna bounce. So um, I'm not a fan of how the werewolf is used in Bad Moon. A freaking dog taking on a werewolf? No thanks. So for me, that's the appeal for me, is the fact that the dog Thor is essentially like the main character, and I love those moments. Like I love like the whole thing with like the dog like uh, pissing on Ted's trailer and like just like kind of like being there and like those the man who's a werewolf and the dog having like stare downs. I don't know. I just thought it was really I don't know. I really liked it. So I liked the idea of the dog being the hero of the film. And I really think that the werewolf looks great in that. The transformation scene, not so good, but if you get the Scream Factory Blu-ray of it, they have on there a director's cut that you can watch. And the only difference that I noticed was that they took out that transformation, so it makes it a better film. Um, but hey, I understand our opinions are different. Um, Also, the werewolf is chained to a tree for the whole film. You mean tell me a freaking werewolf can't break out of those cuffs? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You probably could have, but like I just never really considered that before because again, like I've always thought of it as an entertainment movie. So um, definitely interested in hearing more of your thoughts about Bad Moon. So if you're taking a recommendation for your channel, um, do Bad Moon, cover Bad Moon. I will definitely, and then let me know when you get that uploaded. And then I will definitely check that out because I want to hear more of your in-depth thoughts about Bad Moon. It's interesting. I mean, yeah. Remember how I sent you weeks ago about the werewolf howl and ginger snaps? Yep. I, I don't know the answer to your question, buddy. Like I said, the dogs in the same room. They did the hell. It was probably recorded elsewhere and then mixed together. Uh, that's what they would do for sound design. The story was dumb. Didn't care for the characters. The werewolf design was the only positive with Bad Moon. You don't really like Bad Moon, do you? Just an impression I got. The werewolf mask looks like the WWE Rockstar's mask Kane. Yeah, the mask that Tony Todd wears in Werewolf game. Yeah, it's but that's not the mask I'm talking about when I say that there's a cool looking mask in Werewolf game. It's like because two of the characters, the ones who are supposed to be the wolves, they have like this really cool like metallic looking like wolf head like mask. I like it. Here's some politics. Wolfman Dracula 2028. Make America fun. I support that. That's the only time I'm going to talk about politics here. I support that, Sean. I was watching the news lately, and this family was chased by, went to the house, so wolf jumped through the window. German shepherds saved but killed the wolf in the fight. Huh? Where did that happen? I'll review Bad Moon for sure after the Superman series is done. I have some thoughts on it for sure. Yeah, yeah. Whenever you get to it, just I'm interested in checking out. I definitely want to review American Wolf Time on my channel sometime. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I just showed American Wolf from London to my oldest daughter like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she really liked it. She talked through the whole thing, but she liked it. What do you find scary about American Wolf London Howl and the Ginger Snaps Howl? I just think the American Wolf in London Howl is probably the most terrifying sounding howl. I'm not sure why. Like I don't necessarily know off the top of my head uh, what sounds they use to make that, but to me, it was a terrifying howl, especially in the beginning when Jack and David are on the moors. Are there any werewolf films coming out later this year that you're looking forward to? I feel like I saw a trailer for something recently, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. there's definitely going to be many more werewolf films coming out this year. There always is. Uh, Damn, I wish I remembered. There was one that I was like, okay, that looks actually pretty cool. But I can't recall it off the top of my head. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that there's a gem in there somewhere. That 2025 is going to have a gem of a werewolf film. That's my hope. It's my hopes and dreams. I'm probably going to get along. I'm probably going to get a lot of anger for this, but I don't care when there's too many Superman and Batman movies. Concentrate on the Spider-Man franchise. I know what they use. Elephant, a wolf, they use a lion. Cool. It was a good mix. It was a good sound mix. Which of the three Ginger Snaps film is your favorite? So that's tough. I think the first one is the best, but I also have a soft spot for Ginger Snaps too. And I will be covering those films in October or November. October or November. November. That's right, because I'm covering all the Howlin' films before I get to that point. Do you hear an elephant and a panther sound in the wolf howl? I don't, but I didn't distinctly look for them. So next time I watch it, I will. So, alrighty, that is the show tonight. Talking about the 2025 werewolf films that I've seen so far. Interesting. I love the third. It has the most werewolves, and I love the setting and tone of the third. So I'm looking forward to rewatching the third because I never really that was one I was always mixed on because there was certain things in there, especially the setting. It was really cool, but at the same time, I'm like, why would they make this film? And maybe it's just because I really liked the second film and I wanted them to continue on with the way the second film ended. And the third just seemed weird, but I'm definitely looking to give it another shot. Ginger Snaps. Jeez, I have no idea. I've seen Ginger Snaps in a little bit, so it's been good chatting with you, man. I'm always down to talk werewolves. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, so that is gonna be it for the night. That is my review of these 5 films. Nothing great has come out so far. I'm just really hoping for a gem. But anyway, uh, again, subscribe. Oop, I didn't mean to click on that one. What the fuck? There we go. Well, last night Ray and I talked about the Saw franchise, so and I didn't delete the images. I just uploaded these werewolf ones. So that was my mistake. But yeah, subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. Thumbs up if you can, because you're awesome. And if you're watching on Facebook, share it. Give either the thumbs up, the heart emoji, care emoji, laugh emoji, sad emoji, the fuck you emoji, whatever you want to do. And let me know if you've seen any of these films. I know quite a few people have probably seen Wolfman. I don't know how many other people have seen Night of the Werewolves, Werewolf Game, Shadow of the Wolf, or First Moon. So let me know if you've seen them. Let me know what you think of them. Do you like them more than I do? Yeah. Anyway, have a good night. And I'll see you next Wednesday for Fuck If I Know. All right. Night.